This is a daily chart of the Nasdaq, and you can see it's still in this trade range here, trading below the 50. I believe it's like 1.1% below the 50 and 8.1% below the 200. So still has a lot of work to do. I'd definitely like to see it rally through the 50 here and make a charge at that 200. But we'll see. Like I say, it's still in a trade range. The S&P looks a little better as it closed above its 50 today, which is good. Little constructive action there. 0.3% above its 50 and only 1.8% below its 200 there. So the S&P is looking a little better than the Nasdaq. Of course, we know the Dow Jones is a leader. The leader in the clubhouse so far as it's been trading above its moving averages for quite some time here. It traded below its 50 and then has regained that area and closed today 0.9% above the 50 and 4% above the 200. So the Dow is the leader. I want to take a look at some oil and gas stocks. Just this is a machinery equipment stock, Weatherford, making a new high today. You know, there's nothing wrong with making new highs. You can see it's from the bottom there at 1696. It's just ripped up here to past $50. So Weatherford is showing a lot of strength. OII is Oceaneering International. This one again making a 52-week high today at 1847. This one broke out here back in October and is not looking back, found support at its 21. So this oil and gas field services group is the #1 group and has some really strong stocks here. Halliburton in the same group. Got a standard buy point here at $40. And, you know, this is what I would call a widower stock. I hope that's not politically incorrect, but oh well, if it is, too bad. This is a slow moving stock. You know, pays a little dividend. Halliburton, you know, it's in the top group. It's in a base and near a buy point. So that one's looking good. Schlumberger is now SLB. The ticker symbol is SLB and the company is SLB. And not SOB, SLB in the oil and gas field services group. And this one is just consolidating here. It's 4.3% above its 10 EMA, so that one needs to calm down a little bit, but definitely showing strength above the moving averages. Let's move on from oil and go to the, I keep going back to solar because it was so good for so long, but this group fell out to about 70 over the weekend, now has rallied up to 31 because First Solar has just been showing strength. It rallied, it undercut the 50 and now has rallied through it. So the undercut and rally for First Solar with, you know, strong volume. And it was up 7% today. So that one's looking good. ENPH, this stock drives me crazy. I mean, what do you pay for this one? What's it worth? Is it worth $339 or is it worth $229? This thing is just wild. It still has not closed that gap there from 219.79, although it tried. It was down to 224 today. You could see, I think Malibu mentioned it was down 12 consecutive days. So no stock goes straight up or straight down. So ENPH is definitely hurting. Array was another one that I've been watching, but it undercut the 50 and now it's trying to rally above. So I'm going to keep my eye on that one. Let's go over to the biotech space. BMRN is one that I've been watching, and it broke out here on November 23rd. Yeah, November 23rd out of this double bottom base, and it just hasn't looked back. Pulled back one time here, below the 21, and now is moving higher. Catalyst is another one that I like. You know, it's actually one that I own here. I've had it for a while. Somebody's asking, like, why you buy it at 19? Why don't you buy it at 9? Well, because it's trading at 19 now. Yeah, of course. I would like to buy Apple at 2, but that was, you know, 20 years ago. Those days are gone, pal. Anyway, it's had this buy point here at 16 and has been running up ever since, supported by its moving averages. Today it pulled back to its 10 EMA and found support. So this one's doing nothing wrong, up 3% today, not bad. Another one that I always, the stock amazes me. I'm just amused by it. It just marches to the beat of its own drum. It was up, you know, like 40% in 2022, and now it gives some back here. Trades down to its 200 simple moving average, which it hasn't done in a long time, as you can see, but They have earnings coming up. It's got very stable earnings record, and we'll just see with Vertex. That one could be a takeover target, or it could be buying other smaller companies. We'll see. And I like Vertex, so just as a disclaimer. Merck, people were saying, the drug trade is dead, get rid of it. Because it came down one day, traded down to its 21, found support. So Merck's doing nothing wrong. They presented at the JP Morgan conference in San Francisco. Yesterday, Gilead, I believe they're presenting tonight or today. It just traded down to its 50, found support. It was up 2.5% today. These things are doing nothing wrong. Anyway, let's get out of this space. Hold on, let's go back to Dexcom. We'll throw this in with the biotechs medical product stock, because it traded below its 50 when the CEO guided to like 20% growth, which seems pretty decent, after 17 and 18. But the street sold it off with volume yesterday. And now today it had an inside day. So we'll see if it can rally back through the 50. Still liking that stock. Let's go to the semiconductor equipment stock is the number 22 group. And this is ACLS, is on our watch list, rallied from 80 to 88, 10% gain, woohoo, and then gave it all back. Got into a little trade range here, back to the pivot, and man, it just soared the last 5 sessions. It's now 9.4% above its 10 EMA, so too hot for this kid. AEHR, I know a lot of people on Twitter like this stock. I think you got to take a look at the weekly chart. You can see this big consolidation. This nice little shakeout in the handle on lighter volume. Now the last 2 weeks it's traded higher with volume. You could see the RS line, the blue dot pointing straight north. So price pays, and this one's paying. ASML, this stock, it's quality stock, quality company. I think you got to look at the weekly. It had a huge sell-off, like, all the other tech stocks in 2022, made this double bottom base, and now it's starting to build the right side of a base. So definitely one that I like here. Okay, let's go to another sector. Let's go to the retail sector. And CROX today, I don't know if anyone listened to their conference call, but the CEO was saying business is great, blah, blah, blah. And they raised forward guidance and everything, and the stock didn't do much. The CFO came on at the end of the webcast and said that they have the board authorized a $1 billion stock buyback program, and they haven't used it yet. They plan to use it in 2023. It's a $7 billion market cap with a 1 billion share buyback program. You can do the math here. I believe they're going to deliver strong earnings on February 16th. The CEO is sandbagging. Even though they raise guidance, they know they can make that hurdle easily. Deckers, Deckers Outdoors, new high today. That's why it's on my list. Yeah, Deckers, they make the Uggs quality company. You can see this nice, sell-off consolidation, now forming a handle, and maybe the right side of that base, it'll make a move higher here. I like the group. It's number 7 group, and I like Deckers, and I like CROX, and I like ELF too, but let's talk about the elf in the room. I mean, the elephant in the room. This one's had no news, but it sliced its 50 with volume. So this thing needs to find support. Obviously, it had a huge move. I mean, from 20 to 55. And yeah, if you're going to take profits, take it after the new year. You don't have to pay taxes for about 16 months on it. So yeah, it might be profit taking, but we'll see what happens with this stock. I'm looking for it to find support and rally back through the 50. They do have, accelerating growth. You can see the sales growth at 13, 26, 33. That's what you look for. Another stock that got hammered today was SMCI. I believe it was, I forget, Spruce Capital, that said they had accounting irregularities 3 years ago. So they're bringing up old news to drive the stock down. I don't trust anybody in the market. When there's money to be made, people will do anything. And they said there's a 40% to 50% downside to this stock, but we'll see. I'm more concerned with the data centers slowing, and we'll find out on February 1st when they report earnings, but they certainly have been delivering strong sales growth. You can see 41, 51, 53, 79. So, we'll just see on February 1st. I would like to see this stock find support. Maybe fill this gap here at 72.20 and then rally back through the 50. A couple of stocks that you have to take notice of is Freeport-McMoRan. Believe it or not, this was one of the leading stocks coming out of the global financial crisis in 2009. If you look back at some of the leaders, this was definitely one of them. This one's showing strength again, bouncing off its 21, popping more than 4% today. So the metal and mining group, 19 out of 197, definitely a strong group. I'm looking at a couple of stocks here in this group. This is another one that just kind of took off. Southern Copper. I don't really like playing commodities, but when these stocks are moving like this, you have to acknowledge and not ignore them. Southern Copper is making a strong move. A couple other stocks that I like is Terex Machinery. I believe they're in the Caterpillar group, CNHI. I like both of those stocks. And this one too. You can see the blue dot line pointing due north, up 3.4% today. That one's showing strength. And since I mentioned CNHI, since on our watch list here, you got to look at the weekly always. Just a long consolidation, but it has shown the ability to move. As you can see here, traded from 4 up to 16. It's a 4-bagger and is consolidated here for a long time. So maybe it has another move in it. We'll see. AGCO is another one. It's not in the same group. Machinery Farm. I believe this is in the John Deere group. Anyway, you can see that consolidation forming a little handle. I like AGCO. And let's finish with the home builders. Lennar, definitely, you got to look at the weeklies on these. Huge consolidation, now a handle and showing strength as it forms the right side of that base. And DHI, these guys are all building around my hometown. I can see how these guys operate. There's no more supply chain issues. They're closing these things now. And this has consolidation. Like I say, showing the ability to move. In the past, you can see on the weekly, a big move from 2018. And of course, we had the COVID, then another big move. Now it's consolidated. So maybe DHI has another move in it. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening. We never give up.